Hey dispatchers, welcome back. There's some questions that you need to ask before you book a load for your driver. So let's play like at this point you've already found a load for your driver and you're just calling some brokers to lock some loads in. But first, welcome back to Bright Moon LLC. My name is Carly. Please like and subscribe and share this video so that I can be motivated to continue to make videos like these for you guys. Let's get directly into it. So like I mentioned, there are some questions that you have to ask before you book a load for your drivers. We want to maximize the time for our drivers for that week so we can maximize, earnings for them and obviously for ourselves in turn. So let's get into some things that we need to do and ask these brokers before you actually book a load. So the first question I want to start off with is, can we pick up or drop off this load early? So again, at this point, you've already found a load that you like. You're just calling some brokers. These loads that you're calling about match the criteria that your driver is asking you for, or you're about to call and figure out if they do. So the first question is, can we pick up or drop this load off early? I like to ask this question because if you're booking a load that's 550 miles, like maybe 500, 550, because that's the average that drivers can drive in one day. I was pushing over 600 miles. I have drivers that can literally do 700 miles in a day. However, on average, about 500, 550 in one day. So if you're booking a load that's 500 miles or 550 or less, then you need to ask if it can be picked up or dropped off early. And this is important because you want to know if you'll be able to get under another load the next day or the same day or the next day, depending on how many hours or how much time your driver has left on their clock. I also want you guys to know, sometimes it can take on average, about 2 to 4 hours for your driver to get unloaded. So just try not to book them loads that are too close together on the same day. Another question I like to ask, what is the commodity for this load? The reason why I like to ask this question specifically is because you want to make sure your driver's not picking up or hauling any smelly loads or any loads that are going to get them turned away. Because imagine that you just sent your driver to pick up some recycling. I don't know how many people have been near or in a recycling plant, but they don't smell very good. And, it's just probably won't be a good look for your driver, because imagine they have this smelly trailer that they just dropped this trash off and now they got to go pick up some Hostess snacks. Like, would you want to eat that? The shippers or the receivers, they might end up turning them away. Then the driver has to go get a trailer wash, a truck wash. We wasting time. The key is we want to maximize the time as much as we can. So just make sure you're asking what the commodity is. Like, what are they actually putting in this load? Because, and a lot of times brokers, they will kind of like give you information super quick, especially if you're new. You might be like, okay, that sounds good. But they'll literally go over everything. Like, they'll go over where it's picking up, where it's dropping off, how much it weighs. And they'll kind of like brush over it or whatever before you can even ask what the commodity is. And being new, you just want to slow it down and make sure you're asking this question. You want to also ask, how heavy is this load? Heavy loads, first of all, they can eat up fuel. And, as y'all can see, fuel is not cheap. Last time I was in a truck myself, it costs almost $1,000. It literally costs like $900 to fill it up. So if we have a heavy load, it's burning the fuel more. It's putting wear and tear on your truck. These are all things that you can use to negotiate more money on a load as well. Also, you want to ask if there's any lumpers for this load. Some of you guys may know what a lumper is, but basically to unload your driver's trailer, facilities hire lumpers, which is a third-party service for warehouses, aka shippers and receivers. They hire these people to unload the trailer or load the trailer for you. Most people know this is for food commodities. Anytime you're looking at that load board and it says anything about any kind of food product, even if, like for me, drinks too, sometimes ask, is there a lumper needed? You want to ask these questions because it can be kind of detrimental and like not a good look for you as a dispatcher if your driver gets up to a facility, they're getting unloaded, and the lumper is looking at them with their hand out like, okay, it's time to pay me now. Like, and your driver might not even, they might just be working for an owner operator. Who says that they're gonna have money out of their pocket to pay for this lumper? What they usually do is they'll say, just pay the lumper and we'll reimburse you. But that's not ideal either, because if you've been in this industry or not, I'm going to tell you either way, getting those fees back or reimbursed can be kind of a headache for your driver and for yourself. And it can also be really stressful as a dispatcher to have missed the question, are there any lumpers needed for this load? Because let me tell you guys how much lumper fees can range. I've seen them literally anywhere from like 100 to literally last week I had a driver say that the fee was $400. So imagine not having any money and having to, like, what would they do in that situation? So granted, I do want you to know there is a way to handle lumpers. Lumpers actually are usually paid by the broker that you book the load through. And this is why it's important for you to ask this question before you book this load. For example, if you do book the load and you say, are there any lumpers needed for this load? And the broker says yes, you want to make sure right then and there, there's a way that we can get this paid for and taken care of without our driver having to come out of their pocket. Like, do you guys issue comm checks? Do you guys issue, like, how do you guys take care of the payment? Because if they say, well, just have the driver go ahead and pay it and we'll reimburse them, that's going to be an absolute no for me. Because a lot of the times on these rate confirmations, you'll see that it's outlined that it's going to be a $250 rate deduction if your driver is late. It's going to be a rate deduction if this happens, And so usually when I see those, I can tell, like, okay, this broker is trying to deduct for every little thing. But you know what? Those kind of places, I feel like they will hold, and I know from my own experience, they'll hold money for any reason, or they'll just take forever to pay it back. What if you had to pay $400 out of pocket and not know if you're going to get reimbursed or not? And lastly, this isn't necessarily a question that you have to ask, but I also want you guys to always negotiate your rate. Whatever rate that's posted, definitely ask for more money all the time for those who are interested, and either putting together the knowledge that they already have or just going ahead and get started. Some people may have been looking at this thing for a year and have been like, kind of like, should I jump in? Should I jump in? So if you're ready to get started sooner rather than later, I do offer a training right now, a very inexpensive training, especially compared to a lot of the other ones, especially the one that I took, which also gives you guys access to me via messenger support 24/7. I'll go ahead and pop some reviews in the screen for you guys. I'm gonna take a second because I'm actually helping people. You know what I mean? Like, I need y'all to see this. So for you guys who are ready to get started, feel free. If you don't need a training, that is absolutely fine. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.